In yesterday's video, I mentioned the fact that I choose my actions way ahead of the consequences, but I didn't expand. And the reason I'm going to do this today, I'm going to give you a first-hand example of how other people's actions lead to consequences for others. So this morning, the bus that I intended getting arrived early, so I missed it. I didn't miss it because I got to the bus stop late. I missed it because the driver showed up early. So his action led to the consequence of me arriving home later than I intended. All right, so when I said I choose my actions way ahead of the consequences, it is usually to do with the fact that I can see the consequences coming based on the actions of others, not my actions necessarily, other people's actions. So in future, I will make sure that I get to the bus stop at least 2 minutes earlier than I actually would arrive at the bus stop, just in case the bus decides to turn up early. Right, so I believe, yes, in the year of our Lord 2003, on the day when Rafa Nadal made his debut at Wimbledon, on the day when the defending champion Leighton Hewitt was defeated in the first round by Ivo Karlovic, I was at Wimbledon that day. But on my way, I picked up a copy of the Times newspaper because I had submitted a comment. I don't even remember what the article was to do with, but I'd submitted a comment, and online I sent it by email, and they had printed it under the heading "The Wrong Rights," which I have right here. So we're talking 17 years ago. Let's see, hold on. If you can read reverse writing like I can, then you can see right there it says "The Wrong Rights." So all these articles and comments and things that I've had published, things that I've written myself, they're all online, and they've been online for upwards of 15 years. Right, so I'm going to read this and it will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Predicting the consequences, choosing the actions way ahead of the consequences landing. Right, so I will read this, which was published in the Times in June 2003, titled "The Wrong Rights." And it reads, "Society will one day reap the consequences of giving everybody their rights without worrying whether those rights are in fact right. Instead of educating individuals to accept the responsibility that comes with having choice, we allow them to blame someone or something, thus taking away personal responsibility. If, for example, the individual chooses to take drugs, becomes addicted, and turns to crime, the choice was all theirs. They chose crime by choosing drugs. Instead, they are excused, and in many instances, poverty and boredom are blamed. Does this mean to suggest that all poor, bored people have a mind to commit crime? Until we recognize the value of educating people towards truth and right, social behavior will continue to worsen. Take a good look around. We are reaping the rewards of the choices we made for ill or failed to make for good. You see, I did say that I flow better when I write. As well, going back to, let's say, 2002, although I wrote this before. This is a passage I don't really like to talk about the book because it seems like I'm trying to promote it, but I'm not. I just use it as a reference to say that I said these things years ago. I'm talking about these things more than 20 years ago. So things that are happening in society now, I could have predicted them based on what was going on at the time, how I saw people raising their children, etc. I could have predicted that we would be where we are now, and I could predict that there is worse to come. And it's not because I am a doomsayer or anything like that. It is because actions lead to consequences. So if the bus driver turned up early, then the consequence of that is that I missed the bus. So other people's consequences are going to impact on us whether we like it or not. So back then, some 20 years ago plus, I wrote, unfortunately, in many societies we seem to sympathize with the idea of poverty and deprivation coupled with boredom as the main causes of crime, instead of encouraging the individual to take responsibility for their every action. They are offered distractions and excused. Too often money is thrown at the problems caused allegedly by social problems. What power does money have? We seem to have invested all our trust in its ability to create changes in our society. Can it change society? It is the love of money that drives most criminals in the first instance, and so forth. I mean, I do expand on these themes, but I just wanted to read that little passage there. This was written before I wrote the comment to the Times, but it is there in black and white to say that what I'm saying now, what I write on Facebook, what I'm saying here now, this is not new information. These are things that I've said before. These are I've sort of built my life in such a way to anticipate the consequences that are coming, so that they're not going to impact on me in any way, shape, or form. And one of those things that I've done in preparation is I have developed assertiveness to the extent I come across as aggressive. I come across as super aggressive, but at some point I will go into energy and how energy works. So, for example, I've never experienced crime. I've never seen any crime going on around me, because the energy that you carry, it can act as a repellent. It can actually make people stay the hell away from you. So as small as I am, I'm only like 5 feet half an inch tall, and I don't weigh that much. I weigh just about 7 stones or maybe slightly under, but people don't mess with me. People avoid me. There is a reason for that, but if you have the energy, there are certain people who get picked on. For example, when I was like 11 and a half years old, I weighed 3.5 stones. You can work that out. But I have never been bullied. I've never been picked on in that kind of way, because I'm not the kind of person who carries victim energy. So I've already talked about, just if we see ourselves as victims, if we accept the label of a victim, then obviously we're going to get victimized. I don't need to go into this, but literally, if you, I don't know, the energy that you carry around with you, it has much to do with your outcomes in life. So I'm gonna stop here. I don't want to sort of ramble on and whatever. I just wanted to point out the fact that whatever I'm saying now, I was saying it some 20 years ago before. It's not anything new. And so basically, whatever is happening now, it's not anything that I didn't see coming, and I am armed and prepared and ready to deal with it and whatever else is coming down the line. And there will be other things to come. So that's all I have to say today. See you guys. Bye.